Hello everybody, this will be the second video for TrippNWOFighter. Tonight we are talking about 9/11 on the 11th anniversary, 9/11/2012. I've seen posts and stuff all day, never forget, never, remember all the people that died, and I also have lots of sympathy for that, but that's just, I feel personally it kind of perpetuates and acknowledges the story. We know for a fact, before I get into anything, I want to say that on this first video we'll be just dealing with the facts and the history of government-sponsored terror, which has come out in a number of unclassified documents. So we'll be looking over some of those, going back to the Reichstag in 1933 with Hitler and the Nazi regime. And do not take my word for it. Once again, look these things up on your own. I'll give you the nuggets and you can take those and run with it. I can't spend a bunch of time giving you a bunch of links and things like that. But so I guess let's pop right into it. A good reference tool, some people think he's a kook and whatever, but I have Jesse Ventura's 63 documents the government doesn't want you to read, and these are all actual unclassified documents and white papers. These are all their own admissions, so please, that's a good reference tool for something that's on hard copy. So I'm all about having hard copied stuff. I don't like a bunch of thumb drives and stuff saved to computers and stuff. I like having these books with me. But we'll jump right into it and we'll talk about the Reichstag incident in 1933. Hitler basically dressed up a German soldier as a Polish one, started a fire, burnt down their parliament building, etc., etc., blamed Poland for a pretext to go in and invade Poland. So that is the first line of incidents. If you don't mind, we've got Operation Northwoods, which was actually originally planned for Cuba during Kennedy's presidency. So he did not want to go along with that. If you look up Operation Northwoods, that'll tell you everything that you need to know about the present day of government-sponsored terror. Another already unclassified. Usually the government has a 40-year wait to unclassified documents. I guess that's their magic number of things that they say, well, there's nothing anybody can do about it after 40 years. But please look up the Gulf of Tonkin incident. Basically painted up American naval ships as American and or as Vietnamese, and shot torpedoes at our own ships out there around Vietnam. So, and that led into 56,000 troops killed over senseless war, the beginning of many senseless wars as we started to spread democracy throughout the global, and we started with that. I mean, a couple other things that we've got. Let's get into some facts here. We know there was a stand-down order. 3 months, 10 days, June 1st, 2001, this came out, where Dick Cheney and Donald Rumsfeld and all conspired, and they built this new document of rebuilding America's defenses. And in that, there was a stand-down order that unless it came from the president, vice president, or Rumsfeld, Secretary of Defense, sorry, and they could not pursue any hijacked planes, things of this nature. Like I said, look it up, it's all there. That came out 3 months prior to 9/11. There was a stand down order. I posted some videos today. If you can check the Facebook account, it was on C-SPAN, where they were asked if this order still stands to stand down. So that was part of it. That's something that we know as a fact. Another thing that we know as a fact, let's talk about the actual Arab connection here. Bin Laden and Al-Qaeda was created, that's right, created by the CIA in the late 70s. Look it up. It's all there. So Bin Laden has been a CIA asset since the late 70s, and this is what these not necessarily our government, but the powers to be, the banking elite of the world, and royalty, pin people off against each other, and they have all these secret programs that you're never supposed to know about or anything like that. So we do know that Bin Laden was a CIA asset since the late 70s. And what they usually do, we're finding it in Syria and Iraq. Saddam Hussein was one of these guys. Egypt. The past couple years, we've seen many of these dictators completely get taken over by rebellions or pushed by the UN to flee the country or in their power. And these are all people set up by the powers that be, the Bilderberg Group, your Council of Foreign Relations people. They set these people up so they're thinking that they're really in power, and then once they get on a power trip or do something contradictory to what they're supposed to be doing by the people that have put them in power, they send UN troops or whatever to squash it. And that's another big thing to look into. Let's see. Great movie, another reference tool. Terror Storm. Another one is Fabled Enemies. If you can look that up, that's a Jason Burmis film. It gives a complete history of government-sponsored terror. Really good stuff. Back to the actual events of the day. I remember, everybody remembers where they were and what happened, and that shock and awe factor. And we find that throughout history. Nazis, the Romans. Terrorism! Here, take all my freedom. It happens every time. The elite know our human nature, so that's where the jump-off point was. They want you to believe it was about little man, Arabs in caves that couldn't, only the richest of the rich of them could possess a cell phone with a satellite signal. Yet these guys conspired to pull off the biggest stunt in history when we could have squashed it with F-16s inside of 3 minutes. And they knew. They had a countdown. Go back to that C-SPAN video I posted earlier today. 30 miles out, 20 miles out, 10 miles out. Does the order still stand? Dick Cheney said, yes, it still stands. Things like that happened. Mass hysteria. Mass hysteria is always good for whatever these people are trying to accomplish. I'll end this video up right quick, and we'll build upon what's happened since then in our next video. And I want to plead it with everybody to look into what's actually being done here. There's over 100 smoking guns. I'm kind of rambling and not covering a lot of stuff. I didn't have a lot of research, only what's up here that I've studied this for the past 10 years. So I'm sorry if I feel like I'm rambling on or whatnot, but we'll get into what that means. How long did that Arab scare really last? It was always meant for me and you. Conservatives, gun owners, people that challenge the status quo. I think I got a hint of this when I was very young through Waco and Oklahoma City. Also government-sponsored terror. So in the next video we'll get into a little bit of what's happened since and some other reference tools and videos and things that you can look into later. Alright, thanks guys.